Live from Las Vegas, Nevada. You're watching Shaking It Up with the Sharks. Starring Johnny Richardson and Katie Meadows.
Welcome to Shaking It Up with the Sharks. Your host, Johnny Richardson the Shark, and of course, Katie Meadows. And tonight is a special night. We have this gentleman over here to my right, Jeremy Sigal. He is absolutely amazing. Not only an author, owns multiple businesses here in Las Vegas, and just his story is unbelievable. So it's going to be awesome tonight. What's going on, Jeremy?
Hey, Johnny, super grateful and excited to be on your show. You showed me what you're working on, and it seems like a really great energy, and I can't think of a better person to deliver and pull information out and kind of bring people together. So I'm excited. To be on this journey with you tonight, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Absolutely. Yeah. It's good stuff. We're going to dive in with Jeremy here and find out who he really is, and we all know who he is, but you're going to find out who he is. But he's one awesome dude.
We're going to do one onion layer back.
Just one onion layer.
No, we're going to peel it back.
Yeah.
couple layers.
Yeah, you've probably seen stuff off social media, the purple high rise in Las Vegas, all over the place, which is super awesome, by the way. It's just totally legit, and you'll find out who the man is behind the penthouse tonight, everybody. What do you say, honey?
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll. So let's start it off. I really want to dive in a little bit and where you went through some life struggles and end up being an author out of it in multiple books, not just one book. People struggle to read one book a year, keep in mind. This guy's writing multiple books a year.
Well, I have a secret formula for book writing, and it's keep it short, double space it, and big font. And they tend to get through these things pretty quick, you know?
Almost like a lot of
awesome.
pictures.
You know, to an extent,
Anything that works.
Can't give you all the secrets.
Yeah, there you go. So let's talk about your first book, what you have right here. All right, Prison to Penthouse.
Where did it all begin?
Yeah, give us an idea what inspired that. How'd you get into that? Like, what's the story behind
Absolutely. So I was a pretty wild, I would say I was a moderately wild teenager, but I was absolutely nuts in my 20s. And I ended up getting a criminal record and landed myself in prison. And unfortunately, because I had so many DUIs and whatnot, and I had been in some fights before I got into prison, like when I was in jail, they had me at a high security. I was in this maximum security prison with like real killers. You know, the yard that I was on, it was the highest security you could be in, and still your cell door would open every once in a while. You know, the only higher custody was death row, where you just your door never opens. So I didn't fit in at all, and so I'm really paying attention to everybody around me, and I'm noticing like over time just how the main guys, like the head of the Mexican Mafia, the head of the Aryan Brotherhood, the head Crips, you know, what qualities they had to like rise to the top. And one of the things I found interesting was just the fact that, you know, my background, part of my failure was because I had experienced early success in my 20s. And I had done some investment banking. I had been around, you know, congressmen, and I had kind of always noticed qualities they had that allowed them to rise. So as I'm in prison and I'm watching these like shot callers rise, and I'm noticing the similarities, and that is what was interesting for me. And I knew I had a lot of time, and at one point I was in the hole for a fight, and I was just super bored, so I just kind of started writing, just more journaling, I guess. And when I had to pick a theme, like tie it together, what is this going to be about? I was like, well, let me compare the rise to the top and show whether it's a shot caller or a CEO, how the rise to the top is the same.
Yeah, so you actually started writing the book while you were in prison.
Yeah, wrote the book while I was in prison and thought I, wasn't going to have an opportunity to have that much downtime.
How long did it take you in prison?
What's that?
How long did it take you to write the book?
Well, I didn't finish the book in prison, but I started the book in prison, and I would write it every day for 2 years, just like really just a 3 or 4 page chapter. It took me a while to figure out what the book was going to be about, you know, and I had read a lot in prison. That's all we really could do, so I had read all these self-help books. So I'm finding things that I liked in self-help, and I'm finding things I didn't like. Like I felt like authors used a lot of like fill in the blank space to talk about other people's stories, and you know, they all kind of had a similar pattern, and you know, so I just noticed there were things I liked, things I didn't like. So when I had time to write my own book, I made sure and did it a way that I thought readers would like, and that's what I did. So yeah, I'd say every day for a couple years, and then when I came out, it took me about 5 months to like edit it and publish it.
Very cool.
Get it together and out there.
Yeah.
It's that's pretty interesting. When you look at it, it's just like success it is regardless what position you're in, what you're doing, let's crime, drug dealer, CEO, whatever, gangs, it just all takes one thing, which is normally work ethic and doing things the right way, networking probably, regardless what you're doing.
Definitely.
100%. Getting to know bigger and better people, learning from them, which is pretty awesome. It definitely is. It goes to show you whatever environment that you're in, regardless if you're in some huge building in New York City or if you're in the slums somewhere in parts of Jersey, whatever, you name it, you can succeed to the top.
Yeah.
You definitely can if you're thinking about it the right way.
Exactly.
Right?
No, definitely. And when the Clubhouse app came out, what I noticed is like the big trend was like, everybody wanted to go deep. Like, oh, let's go deep. And like, I get that. Like, if you've already done so much and like going deep is gonna like fix something that'll help you like obtain like your maximum happiness, like great. But what I have found and what this book is about is it's like, this is a book for when you're brand new as a complete outsider and you're brand new to a new group. And all the things you can do right now, all the things you can do today to work your way and rise to the top. And so it's the little things, and you touched on the big things already, but little things like being more assertive, learning to embrace confrontations, using enthusiasm when you connect, having good posture. But the most important ones for me is like the willingness to fight. Because most people in life, they just kind of get pushed around. And that's why they're unhappy. People that are in control of their life and in control of their path are pretty freaking happy. It's the ones that feel that they're not getting what they should be getting, or they're pushed aside or whatever, they're passive, and that's where the unhappiness comes from. So this book is about learning to own your path. Maybe I should change the tagline.
Yeah.
On your path.
This is good. Yeah. I'll give you a royalty, Johnny.
Yeah.
Good, I appreciate this.
There you go. And
like
this book is on Amazon right now,
Yeah,
right? Correct?
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'll tell you 100%, just being around Jeremy and just learning from his work ethic, just the way he lines up life, period, across the board, is just like, there's no reason to listen to excuses.
Yeah.
None at all. I don't care about you've been poor, you were beaten, you just grew up of privilege, whatever the excuse is, there's always opportunity at the end of the day. Yeah. Well, do you want to go grab it? Do you want to work a little bit harder?
And that's what I talk about in the book. It takes place while I was in prison, but that was just one of my challenges in life, going from the bottom to the top. And so the book is really about the process I duplicate amongst different arenas, because I've never been given anything. In fact, in the book, what I'd say is like the only thing anybody ever gave me growing up was a hard time. I didn't have money growing up. I got kicked out of college, and for me, it's always just been about like, what can I do right now to rise? So we're talking about thriving through adversity, and like when you don't have something, like what's the game plan? And so for me, like I only got a high school diploma, but I've learned to like really dominate my way through the medical legal industry. When I went to prison, I didn't fit in at all. I didn't have any tattoos back then. I was a DUI, so I'm a petty offender, and most of the guys in there had done a bunch of time. They're all gang members. So what did I do to rise to the top in that arena? And then I come out of prison as a 5-time felon. And it's like I know everyone's big on labels these days and like political correctness, but like I guarantee you there's no more hurtful and degrading and limiting label than being a criminal, an ex-felon. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is stricken from you at that point. So that is what the book focuses on. That is my whole life, is like really just treat people right, And if you invest in people and you build your value to add more into people, you're going to start to rise to the top every time by like what Johnny does really well, and just surrounding himself and being that strong person to give others around him comfort and strength. That is the most valuable quality you can possess. So that's part of the reason why I love hanging out with you, and I'm looking forward to more of this. So for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we had to move in the building, so we're closer to
Exactly.
So we could
Johnny
do more
kept
of
saying,
it.
I just want to be closer to Jeremy.
Be closer to Jeremy.
Likewise. And
Let's find a place down there.
I'm really excited for our guys' night, girls' night, because Johnny and I have the same units, different sides. So guys on one side, girls over here.
100%.
Then once we're done talking about our drama.
Yeah.
Not so you guys don't have any though. But then
they're
we can get back
perfect.
together.
Yeah, they're
Definitely
perfect. There's nothing to ever talk about,
No.
really. Just my life's so perfect. It's just unbelievable.
That's right.
So crazy. Yeah. I'm sure girls will say the same thing.
Yeah.
But Johnny and Jeremy.
She
they're
wishes she had
amazing.
something to complain about. Yeah, talk to my girlfriend. She'll give you plenty.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
funny.
Definitely good stuff. No, 100% as far as the book goes, building yourself up. And then when you came out of prison, I know a little bit of the story, not all of it, but when you came out, you actually worked for a lawyer's office, correct?
Yeah,
That's what got you
so the
into
first time I
business?
came out of prison, I had gone to prison for growing marijuana. So when the cops raided my house, I literally came out with no money, like no home, nothing. And so I came out of prison and I needed a place to stay. So I looked up government assistance, right? And they had a $500 rent voucher, which anybody can get once a year. They'll give you like a $500 check. So I went with that $500 check. I did a room for rent that I found on Craigslist. And then what I needed was to get a job. And so I was thinking like who in the area that I know had a computer I could use. So I literally contacted this lawyer that I just kind of seen here and there. And I'm in his office just using his computer, just typing up a resume, just using his internet to send it out for interviews. And after just being there for like a week, I started like answering the phone calls,
So
just
crazy.
helping him out. And then within 4 months, I was not only running and managing the cases and doing the intakes, but I was also great at marketing and getting the cases in. So I was bringing the cases in, I was taking them from start to finish. And so that was kind of, that's how I got my start in legal business.
See?
Can you say what lawyer this was? No pressure.
I'd rather not.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It definitely
So
is.
you should have no
Yeah,
excuses.
yeah, no excuses.
Yeah.
No, you end up getting out and you said, let me find a job. Like most people would be looking at McDonald's or Burger King. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. At least you're starting someplace.
Yeah.
But you end up going into the with the lawyer, and then essentially to that, you end up opening a business that helped
Yeah.
Uber drivers. Correct?
Correct, yeah. So basically, I had a real gift at. So how I made a name for myself was I was so good at managing law firms and managing cases and getting higher settlement values for clients. I just knew how to build a strong case. That's why today I have the company Strong Positions. I'm all about building strong positions. This book is about giving you a strong position when you're new to a group. My dating book, the breakup book, how to have a strong position when you're going through a traumatic or challenging relationship. The law groups, the medical, strong positions. And so I had this knack for like really doing the most with and building these cases. So, but what I learned was like anybody, it's really easy to do a small case, 15, 25 grand, 50 grand for a lawyer. Those aren't big cases. You can do that with a little bit of medical treatment, no big deal. But when you start to get these $1 million policies and these abilities, these areas where you can grab more money for clients, that requires a lot of strategy. That was my specialty, was these high value cases, these commercial policy cases. And so I actually built a niche for myself, focusing when the rideshare arena came out, really building a firm just for them to handle complex cases with complex policies. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Pays the
intense.
bills.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Coming out, not
Yeah.
knowing much of any of that, and just jumping in and
Yeah.
forming that business is pretty amazing. It
Yeah.
definitely is. No, and you just mentioned, I wasn't going to bring it up because we're focusing on this book, but then you wrote a second book, Breaking Up, Not Down, which me personally, I feel like no matter who it is, this applies to everybody.
it's a good book, right?
It is. Whether you're like 13 years old, had your first heartbreak, I'm dead serious. Whether
Yeah.
you've been married
Yeah.
for 50 years, 20 years, and you had a heartbreak, it's about like getting
Yeah.
back on the horse, just being positive. I mean, like life is out
Yeah.
there. Like, tell us about that.
So what Johnny's kind of already explained is nobody cares like what you've done. It doesn't matter. They only care who you are and what you can do for them today and tomorrow, right? And so the most important thing is, yeah, you can sit there and you can point the finger, and like complain, right? But just remember, like when you point the finger, you got 3 more pointing back at yourself.
Yeah.
So I always focus on when I'm in a shit situation or challenging, I tunnel vision. I just focus on all the things that I can control, build, and grow. And as I do that, I begin to rise. And so that's what that book's about, Prison to Penthouse. But the one John's referencing, Breaking Up, Not Down. It's your 7-step guide to growing through a breakup. How to make the breakup the best thing that ever happened to you. Because that is pretty much my story. I would take a shit situation and make it the best thing that ever happened. In fact, this is I'll just read you guys the dedication. The very first few words in the book says, this book is dedicated to those who constantly force me to fight. Your endless attacks have literally gift-wrapped my every ounce of success, and I look forward to serving your lemonade for profit every single day. And then it says, your weakness is my strength. Thank you. May I have another?
I like it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when
really
it comes
good.
to the breakup, it's all about like focusing on like, well, first soothing yourself, but really admitting your roles as the problem and understanding their role as the problem and what it means for your future. And then the main part is like throttling up, man. So anytime you're faced with adversity, it's like, what are the things you can throttle up on? And you just do that and you get going and you make sure that your best is always ahead.
Very cool.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it is. Throttle it up, Katie. Throttle it up, baby.
I'm always ready to throttle up.
No, 100%. That's amazing. I mean, like I said 20 minutes ago or whatever it was, most people can't even read a book and writing multiple of them. Like, I'll be fully transparent. Even myself, I've started to read a book, or write a book, and then start to write. Multiple times.
Yeah.
And I never finish all the way through. Me personally, I'm just like, I should change the whole thing. I want to go with this and have a tough time with it.
Yeah.
But you laser in like.
I think that is one piece of advice I can give you is just so you guys understand, like when you're building anything, I don't care if you're designing your home or writing a book or a business, like you have to number one focus on just getting the content going. You have to just put content out there. The beauty of the project, where it really comes to life, is always in the editing. You move in, you got boxes, but it's like when you start to put the couch in the right place and add that right throw pillow, And so for the book, it was like I had to get in the mindset of just keep writing, and then it was the editing that just brought it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did an amazing job at it, definitely.
Thank you, Johnny.
Are you in the process of writing any more books?
I am. I have actually started a third book, and this came about because the first one was really general. It was my first self-help book. And the second book I loved because breaking up and down, it's a much more linear focus. And so I was able to take people on a journey with more impact in a shorter period of time. So I love that. But as I've been getting speaking engagements and people are asking me to talk, I'm realizing the two things people are enjoying my knowledge based on is thriving through hardship and then also connecting to the top.
Yeah.
So the new book is called Thank You, May I Have Another? And it's 10 Steps to Fortune Through Misfortune.
Very cool.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that goes back once again as far as I can see where your core is that everybody looks at like a step back is a step back.
Yeah.
And it's really a push through at the end of the day. Right?
Actually,
right,
I love you said that because a step back, it's like, and this is what I was talking about I talked to a women's group of sexual assault victims, and I'm like, at the end of the day, right, we can't fix the past, we can't change the past, it already happened, but it's like, here you are, you've been going through your life, and all of a sudden you've been challenged. It's like college, right? You've been challenged, and now you're forced to like really do the most. And so you can look at it as a step back, but really what's happening is you have to fight that, and you prepare for battle, and you challenge yourself. You're going to hit that springboard, So it's just really a mindset, and that's why the one thing I say in that book is like the way you see the problem is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do you look at it a problem, or is this the next step to the next level at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
No, 100%. That's awesome. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how can they reach you? Like, what's your story?
So just for watching us today, guys, I'd like to give you a free gift. If you text the word GAIN, GAIN, GAIN to the number 42828. So GAIN to 42828. It's going to automatically send you a free copy of my book. I know you'll love it, but I would really love to hear back from you guys about what you like from it or how best I could serve you in the future. So that would be that. If I can I just do my 360 with you guys?
Yeah,
real quick?
Yeah.
Man. But you guys, sorry about that. I never spilled a bong in college. I got really fast reflexes. Nah, seriously,
there you go.
I was that guy.
Big party foul.
So how I do my 360s, number one, you have to give people prep.
Are you guys ready for this trip?
Yeah.
Well, so the main thing is like,
They are bomb.
I
by the way.
have
They
to
are.
take your attention away from the camera.
Yeah.
So I'll say, hey, you guys, tell me about, what was the first episode of Shark? What is it?
Shaking Up with
Shaking It Up with the
Shark.
Sharks.
Yeah. Tell me about your favorite part of that. You guys just start talking, looking busy, and I'll snap through.
There you go.
So our favorite part, I think, was
just how beautiful
how
you were.
Oh my God! Wow, I'm not ready for this, guys.
You're so sweet.
I know, I'm the
Yeah,
sweetest.
exactly.
Yeah,
It takes all this to
yeah,
get you sleep.
Yeah, see, that calls it toothache.
I'm
Huh?
like
I know.
27.
You know how,
Exactly.
definitely.
So, what made you guys want to do that though? Shaking Up with Sharks.
As far as shaking up with the Sharks,
We had a vision for a long time.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
did. We couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure out the direction.
Yeah.
And then when we were moving here, actually, we're like, okay, we have a nice spot,
Setup.
nice layout here.
No,
the
this is
windows.
actually super great.
Yeah.
How was it when you guys are filming? Are the lights in the window behind us, or are you guys? Wow.
No.
Okay, because I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
I could not figure. Okay,
It
so
took a minute.
You just got to put us in the
Mike.
middle like that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
if you want a
amazing.
good camera guy, like
Exactly.
report
Yeah,
back.
no, that's
Shout
great.
out to
This is
Mike.
such a great
Find out.
thing. I really look forward to you guys doing the most with this because I mean, you guys not only got the spot, but you guys are like the cool kids. You know what I'm saying? That everybody likes, and you're very disciplined and strong.
Aw,
and
thank you.
and people get a lot of inspiration being around that strength and focus.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, this has been great. Honestly.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes.
it. Appreciate you coming on.
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. So you heard it. You know how to get a hold of Jeremy. You have a new book coming to you, rocking and rolling.
Yes.
So
Don't
shake.
forget to order it.
That's right. Make it happen. No excuses. No excuses.
None.
Right?
None.
None at all.
If I need one, I know. Yeah.
Somebody
Plenty of people
else has
that. Yeah.
that have
You
them
know where to
definitely.
find one.
So another amazing episode, Shaking Up with Sharks. We'll see you soon, everybody.
See you soon. Bye.